guys, welcome to Outliers, a show about the lifestyle and culture of action sports. I'm Molly Hawkins, and I'll be your pilot for the next 30 minutes. This week, we are going to be talking about some sports, I guess you could call them, that are a little unconventional. Base jumping, wingsuit flying, bungee jumping, and a new one that I'm just learning about, speed flying, or also maybe known as speed riding. Today, we have my friend Doug Frutos here. Doug, you are a fabricator by trade, but you are also a base jumper, you're a wingsuiter, bungee jumper, and now the one I'm learning about, the speed flying. You don't see much of these sports in the mainstream media other than in maybe James Bond movies. Tell me about how you got into these.
When I was a kid, I enjoyed jumping off of things. So, I was that kid that would jump off the roof and pile up mattresses and, jump into the bushes and jump into the water.
So your folks had a good insurance plan.
Yeah. Growing up in the 80s, seeing the extreme skiing, and that was a big inspiration for me. So being a part of that, I definitely was exposed to base jumping. And it was something that always was intriguing. And just by pure chance, I got into bungee jumping, right place at the right time. And I didn't want that opportunity to go away. So I just spent all my time being a part of this small bungee group called Vertigo Bungee. So
you started with base jumping and then went to bungee. That seems kind of, in my mind, kind of backwards.
I was inspired by base jumping and skydiving. Got it. But bungee was actually the first thing that I started doing when I was 19 years old. Okay, so that's kind of the gateway drug. Yeah, you could say that for sure. I spent 10 years bungee jumping pretty religiously. I was part of a group, and we did, renegade bungee trips all over the West Coast. So that's how I spent my days and nights when I wasn't working.
So what does that mean, renegade bungee trips?
Well, we at that time, we didn't have our own facility, so we would trespass basically and jump off, railroad bridges, road bridges, whatever kind of bridge we could find. We spent time in map rooms and basically scoured the West Coast, and every bridge that we could find that was the right height, we would drive out there and scope it out and bring our gear and jump off it.
So what's the right height?
Generally, anything over 160 feet up to whatever height you can think of. I mean, the highest bridges in the world are, I think there's one in China that's 1,600 feet. The highest bridge that we've jumped is 1,000 feet. It's in Colorado. Wow. And most of them are around 350, 400.
Okay. I think I've done a 20-foot cliff jump into a waterfall.
Yeah. I mean, when we bungee jump, we try to use all the height that we have. So if it's 1,000-foot bridge, we will go all the way 1,000 feet.
Where do you get a 1,000-foot rope?
Oh,
wow.
We have it manufactured for us, and we do all the rigging ourselves. And
is there a whole industry for bungee jumping?
No, not really. It's pretty small now. Okay. I mean, at that time, through the 90s, there was a lot of fly-by-night type of companies that would, get gear and charge people. And, eventually they ended up, getting some sort of crane out of State Fair or something and just trying to make a buck. Okay. Nowadays, there's really not much of a business for it. There's just no locations. There's only a few in the country. And only a few companies that offer, trips. So it's shrunk quite a bit.
So you're bungee jumping. You've probably hit how many bridges now and features, you think?
Bungee jumping, I have over 3,000 bungee jumps myself. Wow. And I've jumped and rigged off of about 65 different structures. Okay.
That's pretty impressive.
Bridges and cranes and, whatever we can jump off of safely.
You started bungee jumping, and then what came next?
Well, oddly enough, I was on a bungee trip down in Northern California on a bridge, 750-foot bridge. And we were jumping through the night. It's a big bridge, so it takes a lot of people and a big operation, so it takes all night to do it. And there were a couple base jumpers that showed up. And this is 92 probably. At that time, I had never even seen a base jumper. I've only like seen them in movies or saw them in magazines. And so that was kind of my first real experience, like actually seeing somebody jump off a bridge with a parachute and disappear into the darkness, you know. And then oddly enough, a couple years after that, we were doing a MTV sports gig with a helicopter and skydiving and bungee cords all mixed together. And the person that was one of our trainers was the same guy that I met on the bridge. And after talking about our, stories and history, we ended up realizing that we met a few years earlier, and we ended up becoming friends. And now he is one of the leading manufacturers in the base jumping world. And, we're still dear friends, and he's the one that brought me into base jumping and got me started, taught me how to fly a parachute, and taught me how to do all the packing and all the safety precautions.
So for folks who don't necessarily know what base jumping is, how would you describe it?
Well, the word base is an acronym. The B stands for building, the A is for antenna, the S is for span, like a bridge, and the E is for earth. So base is an acronym, and those are the objects that you jump off of. So once you have jumped off of one of each of those objects, then you can consider yourself a base jumper.
I just had one of those aha moments. I can't believe I didn't think of that. So I always wondered what the base meant. I just assumed it meant you were, you had a base that you jumped off of.
No, it's
That's funny.
It's fixed object jumping. So all those objects are fixed objects. They're not moving.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
So, what's the global stage look like for base jumping? It seems like there must be somewhat of an industry for it. Obviously, like I said earlier, there's the James Bond films and, there's entertainment. But is it a competitive arena? How many people are doing it? I think a lot of people now might be familiar with Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah.
Is he a base jumper?
Yeah, he's a base jumper.
Okay.
Yeah. The base jumping arena now is actually growing pretty rapidly just in the last few years. Wingsuiting might have something to do with it, but I think the majority of it is just now we have so many crossover athletes in the outdoor world. So it seems like because you have these crossover athletes that have a broader range of skill, it's a lot easier for them to attain more skill.
That makes sense.
And it's a lot easier to attain the base jumping skill nowadays than it used to be. It used to be, you had to find a mentor. It was very secretive. You couldn't just, take a course. Nowadays, you can take a course. If you have a certain amount of skydives, you'll get accepted into a course, and you can learn the first few steps that you need to learn to start base jumping. There's actually quite a few events around the world, building events, bridge events, competitions. So with with all those events, it's definitely a little bit easier and to try to get sponsorships. And there's people doing it. There's people that can call themselves professional base jumpers nowadays.
Okay. Are you sponsored?
Am I? I have very good support. I wouldn't call it a sponsor, but I'm part of a couple different teams, and they're more support teams than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone you'd like to share with us?
Well, Asylum Designs, their manufacturer that I use. That company builds the container, which is the harness and the backpack that holds the parachute. and they also build the parachute. So I'm on their team, and so that allows me to have a lot of support that I wouldn't have if I wasn't on the team.
Right. So I guess, is there a new term for what Felix was doing? I mean, because that's taking it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean,
or to you, I mean, was that just a gimmick? I mean, how do you feel about it?
I don't think it was a gimmick at all. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a lot that could go wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. I mean, I could see where it can progress something in a certain direction as far as high altitude skydiving and the equipment that he used and everything else. But it's not attainable by really anybody else, you know?
Right. Oh, that Red Bull.
Yeah.
Okay, so bungee jumping, base jumping, so bungee jumping, base jumping, was it wingsuit flying next?
Yeah. Base jumping, it might be a little hard to believe, but there's a lot of different types of base jumping. Some base jumpers love low objects, and some like big objects. In the last 10 years, as more people started jumping larger cliffs, with those larger cliffs, when you're in free fall that long, you are able to actually glide just with your body without any equipment, any special stuff, just regular clothes. You can glide away from the cliff if it's tall enough. So if it's 3,000 feet, you can glide away from it about 1 to 1. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot down. Now, if you add clothing, there's a tracking gear, and that's basically like a nylon jacket and pants. And it has vents in it, and the vents actually allow the clothing to inflate. So now you have more surface area.
So that the suit is actually inflating.
It's actually inflating. Okay. And then once it inflates and you have more surface area, you can glide even more. And then the wingsuit actually has wings. So you have a wing for your left arm, one for your right arm, and then one between your legs. And they actually inflate. They all have inlets and they inflate because of the velocity. The air goes in the vents, inflates the wing, and creates the shape. And it's the same principle as an airplane or a parachute. You know, you're creating a high pressure and a low pressure, and that's basically how that high pressure that goes over the top of you pulls you because you have low pressure below you. So the wingsuit is actually designed just like an airplane wing. It has battens, it has compartments, and once it inflates and it pressurizes, it's an actual wing. You're not actually holding it out. You're in a very relaxed position, and that allows your body to, steer.
So you're probably a little less tense than, I guess my vision of it was that you're really having to fight against the wind and, hold.
The earlier wingsuits were like that, and you really had to hold them out and hold them in a certain shape. The newer ones, people are doing wind tunnel testing and doing aerodynamic testing on them and stuff like that. So with different materials and, of course, different designs, you're going to get that efficiency that you're finding now with the wingsuits.
Again, you're here with Molly Hawkins, and you're listening to Outliers. We have Doug here. He's telling us a little bit about wingsuits and base jumping. Doug, so when I think of all my friends who are out there doing these crazy sports or, out there on the snow or in the air, it appears to me, based on, the things that I hear from them, that these risks that they're taking are pretty damn calculated. I'm guessing that you put a lot of time and thought into all of your jumps and all the things that you're doing. Do you ever get scared, though?
You
can be honest. Nobody's listening.
Scared. Yeah, you definitely get scared. Anytime you're jumping off of something new or you're doing something you haven't done before, you're gonna have that fear of the unknown, you know. But most of the time, it's a large feeling of anticipation more than it is fear. With base jumping, you train so much, and you really have to take an account of all the dangers that are in front of you. So it's that anticipation that you feel before you jump that really gets your blood flowing.
Do you always feel like you're one-upping each high after, jump after jump?
No, I don't. I mean, it's when I base jump, when I safely land, the feeling I get is just a really big sense of accomplishment. You know, I'm never numb to the fact that I can jump off of a mountain and fly down and land in the forest, you know. And it's always amazing to be able to do that.
That said, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? The
Oh.
craziest, where you're like, I may not come out of this. You called your mom before and you're like, hey, Mom.
No, I wouldn't do that at all. That sounds like a horrible thing to do to my mother.
Oh, she's probably already terrified.
You know, I honestly, when I base jump, I plan out everything so much that I don't think I've ever really had the feeling that I might not make it, you know? Really does take a lot of calculations, and you really have to be confident on your ability, especially when you're wingsuiting and stuff like that.
So, okay, what was your favorite feat jump?
I would say some of the wingsuit jumps that I've done in Switzerland are probably my favorite. Yeah, Lauterbrunnen.
Okay.
Just up the valley from Interlaken.
Cool. What'd you do there? What was?
There's so many jumps there, but one of my, I guess one of my favorite ones was first time I jumped off the mushroom at the Eiger. It's a rock formation that looks like a mushroom. And the first time I jumped off it, I was lucky enough to be able to ride in a helicopter to it. So that was pretty awesome. And that was the very beginning of my wingsuit flying. I had only had a handful of wingsuit flights, and only a couple of them were base jumps. So the first time I jumped off that, was my third wingsuit base jump. And I was lucky enough to be up there all by myself, looking down at the Swiss Valley.
So it went from, again, bungee jumping, base jumping, wingsuiting, and then you mentioned speed riding? What is that?
Speed riding and speed flying are really close to the same. It's what it is you ground launch a parachute off the top of a mountain. It's a high performance wing. It's kind of like a paraglider and a high performance skydiving parachute. So you lay it out behind you and you run, and it inflates behind you. And then once it's inflated, it'll go up above you and it'll outglide the terrain. So speed riding, you're doing that with skis on, and speed flying, you're doing it without skis on.
Got it. I think I've seen that on a Warren Miller film. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Depending on the size of your wing will depend on how close you can go to the terrain. So if it's real steep terrain, you're going to have a smaller wing. If it's real shallow terrain, you'll have a bigger wing.
So where do you go to do that? I mean, do you have to hike out, or how?
They let people do it at Crystal if you have a paraglider license.
Okay. So some ski resorts will.
Yeah, Sun Valley lets you do it. I think there's a couple places down in Cali that allow you to do it. I think Bachelor allows it. Other than that, you're just skinning and hiking and, just doing backcountry stuff.
So are these sports things that anyone could participate in? If somebody's jumping off cliffs on the mountains, on their skis or snowboard. Is there a progression or, access to these things for the average Joe?
If you're motivated, you can learn all of it. I mean, all the lessons are out there. There's schools. There's people that are willing to teach. You just have to be motivated and I guess be able to afford it.
So speaking of affording it, I mean, can somebody make a living off of it? It seems like obviously Felix, is making a living off of doing these things, and you have some sponsors, but I mean,
there's people making a decent living off of doing these activities. I don't know if anybody's making money just doing one activity. Most of the guys that I know make money do a bunch of different ones.
Right.
And they have sponsors that support them on all those different levels.
What about, do they make a chunk of that money through films or movies and entertainment?
I think it's, photo incentives and, magazine shots, videos, how many hits you got on YouTube, that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, I might be calling you at some point to take me out to a bridge or strap me to something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds appropriate, but
Well, I do. We have we're gonna have a bungee operation open in May.
Oh no!
It won't be anywhere near Washington, but
where's it gonna be? Can you talk about it all?
It's gonna be in Kentucky.
Oh wow, that really is nowhere near Washington.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well,
but that just so happened to be the only bridge that we could buy. So.
Oh, you bought a bridge.
We bought a bridge.
Who buys a bridge?
A bunch of bungee jumpers.
Are you guys from all over the country, or?
No, we have one person that's there in Kentucky, but the rest of us are here in Washington.
Well, I'd love to come out.
Yeah,
when it opens up. When will it be opening?
We don't have a locked in date, but we're hoping for May.
Okay. Well, I'll be your second jumper. We'll let somebody else be the guinea pig. Cool. Well, I'm excited for you. I'm glad you were able to make it here to share your adventures with everybody, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for coming in today, Doug. Doug Frutos, wingsuit flyer, base jumper, speed rider. You guys, thanks for listening. You can learn more at www.outliersproject.com, and we'll have some links and some pictures of Doug there and a little video for you. I'm Molly Hawkins, and I will see you next time.